Okay. So I don't think Preeti can you start the live stream? I can't. I know I cannot start the live stream. Acha, theek hai. We won't bother about the live stream. It's recorded, so we can always post it later. Yeah, so I would like to invite everyone or anyone to share their experiences or any questions you might have about open learning or the way we practice open learning in the Arohi community. So, yeah, please feel free to unmute yourself, or if you would prefer to type it on chat, that's perfectly fine as well. I see that Santosh and Radha are unmuted. So we can't hear you, Santosh or Radha, if you're saying anything.
In the meanwhile, I think, Vijay, everybody can put in a message in chat about their names and place and how old their child is.
Yeah. By the way, were folks able to hear me all this while? Okay. My speakers were muted and I just couldn't hear anyone. So I was just wondering what is happening. Yeah. Yeah. How a day in Arohi goes. Suvida, a day in Arohi is as colorful as or as dull as one's regular days are, because Arohi on campus is one part of the Arohi community. Arohi in each of our families and wherever we live is another part of Arohi. So the idea of Arohi is not just about being in one place and doing a particular set of things,
house,
but
just that.
Mm-hmm.
And other house.
Santosh, you aren't muted. We can hear your other conversation, I believe. Yeah, thank you, Santosh. So yeah, so when we are talking of life of a Arohian, or I don't know, a person in Arohi or a learner in Arohi, it's about planning your activities. It's about doing what you want to do and then reflecting on how that went and what one would want to do after that. And not just doing this by themselves, but rather doing this as part of a group, as part of a community, so that you can bounce off ideas, you can learn from others, and you can co-create stuff rather than just being by yourself. So, but if you are interested in life on campus, Preeti, could you share some about life on campus? A day on campus?
Yeah. So to be really very precise, it starts with a morning walk or maybe a brush or something. Okay. Jokes apart. It starts with a morning walk or fitness regime, and then you go on for some breakfast, and then you go on for morning circle, in which you decide for the day how you want to plan the day, how you want to collaborate with everybody in the community, um, in the campus, with different people with their different expertise. Then lunchtime, 1 to 2, lunch and cleaning time. Then 3 to 4, 4 to 5 will be campus care, where everybody comes together and takes care of the campus. And 5 to 6 would be a sports time. Then you enjoy sports. 6 to 7 dinner. Then 7 to 8 thought club. And then me time, 8 to 10, and then sleep.
You have
That
the
was
whole
very
calendar
precise. Yeah.
schedule in your mind. Huh? Wow, that
Yeah.
is too much, too much. Thank you, Preeti. Would you like to come online and share, unmute yourself and ask something else? Or does that answer your question, Suvida?
So I think all of you can ask anything about Arohi. So Arohi, we have, as Viji said, it is not a school, it's a community of families coming together. And we have Arohi X, which is Arohi extended to your home, in which we are all the families who are not able to make it to the campus, they can connect online from their homes. That is Arohi X. Then there is Arohi Campus, wherein you physically go and stay in campus. That is a second way of being with Arohi. And there is Coversity, in which 13, 14 years plus you join and be part of Arohi campus. And there you stay in the campus and focus on your one very specific interest area for 6 month cycle. And then you go on with that cycle with different interests or with the same interest, whichever suits. So these are the three offerings from Arohi side. So go on and ask questions from any of these areas.
Thanks, Preeti. I'm completely new to this. I just joined yesterday to the WhatsApp group. So is it based out of Bangalore? And when you say community, how many families are there? So you mean to say that the complete family is staying together over there, all the families?
So Namrata, you'll have to talk a little more about your what
Okay.
you are looking for, and then I might share a
Right.
little more.
So, sure. So I'm from Pune. Me and my son started with homeschooling just this academic year. And as we dive into this, then we understood about unschooling. So we are very, looking into the subject to understand how the child-led learning is all about. So previously, my idea was all about, getting the academics done at home. But now I understood how child-led learning can be more, enthusiastically accepted by both the parent and the child, and how it can be enriching journey for my son as such. So yes, I'm looking forward to understand how Arohi can, how it works in Arohi, and how I can get some information about unlearning about it, about sorry, unschooling. Yes.
Viji, would you start with it, or Pranav?
Okay. I mean, see, Namrata, the idea of unschooling or unlearning or open learning is that we have the child initiate what they want to do. They lead their own life and they decide what they want to do. I mean, I'm guessing that's your child, probably a year or 2 years old.
She's 10 months young.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the perfect open learner. I mean, they will do what they want to do. They will learn what, when they want to learn at the pace that they want to learn. So the idea is to nurture that instinct rather than try to override it or make it regimental, right? So that they are able to decide and we support them in their journey. We co-create with them so that they are able to identify what they want to do, how they want to do, and at what pace they want to do, right? So the right now, if you ask about campus, there are about 14 to 18 children, if I remember right. And but there is a much larger community which there are many more members of families in the community from joining in from their houses. So when we say that open learning, each of us is doing it at pursuing things that we want to do at our own pace, it also means that we can do it from anywhere. We don't have to be on campus in order to practice open learning. So I think that's why Preeti was hesitating to, share her thoughts immediately, but just to get an idea of where you are, how you are looking at it. So, so the online community connects through, directly through Zoom calls or through WhatsApp groups or individual messages, and sometimes even through phone calls and personal meetups. So we meet up in each other's houses, or kids might decide to have their own time, online time, and do some things together. And there are also other things that families do together. So there are a bunch of activities over which we interact with each other. And yeah, Preeti, anything else to add, or would you like to add something?
I think, yeah, you're pretty much there, like done. And I think, Namrata, if you have further follow-up question, that would help. Um,
Thanks for this information. I now understood how it is operating. So, I am not very, I don't have much ideas about how to initiate this child-led learning. I mean, like, since last 3 months, we have been doing multiple things, but I
Yeah.
understand that as an individual, I have some of my limitations, my own understanding of the subjects, or limitation of knowing the subjects rather. So, like, I'm a practicing chartered accountant, so I don't know much about science and all, and giving that
Okay.
kind of exposure to my child will be quite challenging for me. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I would find it very challenging to know something about tax laws and all that as well, or
exactly.
audit norms. So
Right. So
yeah,
that is the question: how I make sure that how can I give all the exposure? Not about giving. It is again coming from egoic center. How can I
that's
give?
okay.
But
That's
how
okay. Yeah.
how can I make sure that my
Yeah.
child is using his ultimate potential, whatever he is having?
maybe another, yeah, Digi, you're
Go
going?
ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I'm saying maybe another certified chartered accountant father can chip in.
No, Namrata, I think what you have to like uh, whatever the child is doing it 8 months. I think if that continues, life set hai, koi tension nahi hai. Whatever is the child needs to know or wants to learn or explore, with time the child will kind of indicate to you, and I'm sure there is enough and more resource around us, and it's not necessarily a parent which has to do everything. So you have a very valid apprehension, which we most of the open learners have, when they start this journey. Okay, how will I do everything, or how can I teach my child astronomy and astrology and even art like Picasso and some photography like somebody else. So that's where we come from. But whatever the child needs to know, the child will go seek, ask you, maybe ask support from the neighbor, maybe some friend, some grandparent, maybe your extended family, whoever. So we are all there as a tribe, as a group, as a larger community there to support each other, and that's how it works. So typically, like what would happen in your life, like if you're not good at cooking, probably check with somebody ke sabzi kaise banana hai, aaj mere husband ko ye khana hai, whatever. The other way around also maybe. So whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I need to buy a gift for my wife and he doesn't know what is a good gift, and he'll go and ask with some of his friends. So that's how we all learn. So that's how the life goes. So nobody knows everything, and of course we don't know what we don't know. So that's how it goes.
Sure. Thank you. So I just need to trust his instinct. That's it, right?
Be in the flow state at
Mm.
your end as a parent, probably whatever little surroundings, like I would not say exposure, like you have to kind of push the child towards a particular exposure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let the child be observant, be there with the child. And that's the only thing that bonding is important than more than anything else, I feel.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Thank you, Pranav.
Hi, this is Suvida. I'm from
Hi, Sweeta.
Tirupur,
Yes, now we
Tamil
can
Nadu.
hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my son is 4.5 years old. I just want to know, is there any kids in his age group in Arohi in campus? I mean, not in online community, in campus.
Yeah, Ratnesh is there. So,
Yeah.
Suvida, just to answer, yeah, carry on,
Go ahead.
Digi.
नहीं,
Go ahead, go ahead. अरे आप बोलिए.
Okay, what does he do the whole day? Like they can't show interest now, no? They have multiple interests now.
Yeah, I was about to say, what do you mean they can't show interest? They are interested in so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just want to know what he does in Arohi
Okay, so what's the best way to find out?
to come there and
There you go. You have the answer.
yeah.
Have you been to campus, Suvida?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
And it's the first meeting I'm attending. I'm
Oh,
planning
okay.
to come.
Okay. Yeah. So do visit because I guess you heard Preeti lay out the day schedule.
Yes.
And everybody on campus does most of it, if not all of it. It's not that everybody has to do it, but when you are there, you do it because everyone is doing it. It's so much more fun when you're talking to people and doing these things. But it's also that when you're looking at really young kids, right? And we say that let the child lead the way, we are also saying that we are co-creating, right? It's not just that we are the child does whatever they want to do, right? So there are constraints, there are resources, and there are constraints. So you don't have to wait to go to campus to start open learning. That's where I'm going with this. That going to campus will get you an idea of how open learning is done on campus in the Arohi community. But you can also start some of that when you join the online community. And if you have, if you spend a couple of hours browsing through the recordings of these meetups, from, there are about 160 odd meetups that have already been completed. I think this is 164. So you will get an idea of, what are the different ways in which people have lived life of open learning at different ages, right? So you can take a look at that, get a better idea. And if you'd like to join the online Arohi community, that you're most welcome to do that. But even then, I would say when you go to campus is when you really get a flavor of a day or life as an open learner. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Adding on to what you said, Viji, I think Suvita didn't get the joke of Latnesh being there. So Suvita, you asked anybody of 4.5 years old is there, and Latnesh is 54 years old and he is there at campus. So everybody at campus is a child or an adult or whichever age you look at it and look at the person
Okay.
as. So yeah, so everybody we as a community believe in this, that we are all unique, we are all we all have our own identity, and age doesn't define that part, right? And we all contribute to each other in our own unique ways. So, and to be very specific to your question about the age, so 4.5, I think there are few kids there, but yes, again, means everybody is equal.
Okay. Thank you.
And further to just add to this, when we are saying open learning, so when we are saying as a community, so when we say community doesn't comprise of only children, it comprises of families. So when you're looking at open learning, don't just look at it from the lens of the child's thinking, what will the child gain out of it, or what will the child benefit out of it, or what am I providing to the child through this open learning. Look at it for yourself or as a family, and then the whole journey or a whole thing will really work as a unit for you. So that's where I'm trying to bring that. So that transformation from being coming from a particular conventional mindset that we come from and shifting to this space is where the entire family has to move there, and that's how this journey really starts. So when you go to the campus, don't go with an intent of seeing what your child is doing. You be what you are and let the child be what the child is, and each one of you can figure out your day and explore your interest, do your stuff, and things will be taken care of.
Okay.
There anyway,
After-
no one is. So just one last thing, there at campus, there anyway, no one is the father, no one is the mother, no one is the child, no one is the guardian. So everybody is on their own journey. So on their own. So yeah.
Okay. After a week visit, do the parents have to stay there, or we can leave the kids there and come?
Where are you from, Suvidha? This is Suvidha asking question, right?
Yes. I'm from Tirupur, Tamil Nadu.
Uh-huh. Viji, go on.
So how old is your child, Suvida?
4.5.
4.5 years. So if he's able to stay without you, nobody on campus will say no. But at the same time, you have to make the judgment about whether you will be fine staying without him.
Yeah.
Right? So we do not have a age limit, but we do ask that children be able to take care of themselves and be part of day-to-day activities. We have had children of 4 years, 5 years joining for a few days without their parents around, but it has been after some time of after the family has spent some time there. But I mean, not that you intend to do that, but I'm just letting you know that when people join the community, when families join the community, it is not just the child that is joining. We
Okay.
do see parents as an integral part of not just the child's learning journey, but the entire community's learning journey. So the idea is not to make it into open learning as something that only children do. That's what Pranav was referring to when he said that, see, joining the community should be seen as I, as a learner, am joining the community. In fact, at this point in time, my daughter is not at all active in the community, and I am somewhat active in the community. So I am more of the learner in Arohi and in the family than my daughter is. So so the idea of open learning and is not to look at it as something that you do from ages 5 to 20, but rather as something that you do throughout your life. And if it's something that we are doing throughout our life, we are learners till we die. So yeah, maybe we are learners after that also. I don't have any information on that. Yeah.
You don't have experience on that.
Experience information bhi nahi hai yaar. Nobody is replying to my messages. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask a question, please?
Sure, please.
So I wanted to ask whether children are meeting online just to make friends or just to exchange what they have been doing in their life. So I would really like to get connected with such families whose children are meeting online. So how can I get a help in this regard?
So, Namrata, when you're part of Arohi X community, which I shared that it is like extended to your home, then automatically you're part of the community, of the whole community, not only Arohi X parents, but also you also meet people who are at campus, who are in co-varsity, and everybody online from your home. Okay, and you connect online with all those children and families, and whenever you feel like that you really have developed some kind of bonding, or you want to develop a bonding with someone, you can even travel. You can travel
Right.
to that family's house, or you can travel to campus to visit, to see and meet every family. And you can also travel for Arohi outdoors, where we plan outdoors and we go out, and that is where we meet as families together. So connections happen once we are seeking for it.
Right. So is it the same WhatsApp group wherein we are sharing this information of MeetUp? No.
That WhatsApp group is also a group for open learners as a whole, and Arohi is a separate. Arohi is a community. There could be many such communities. Arohi is one such community. So the WhatsApp group is just a group wherein it's a broader discussion about open learning and everything. Community is like the close community that we have. Close, but it's
so
open.
How can I become a part of it?
So, Namrata, just carry on. Yeah, carry on.
I was asking, how can I become a part of the community? Am I audible?
Okay, carry on.
We can hear you. We can hear you, Namrata.
Okay, so I was asking, how can I become a part of the community?
Yeah, yeah,
Vijay.
we are.
Okay, okay, I can hear. I can hear. Priti, there is some problem with your mic or your
Yeah,
speaker. So, Namrata, we have on Saturdays and Wednesdays, there is an orientation which happens. If you are really inclined to be part of the community, so first we'll invite you to be more here on this Saturday meetups to understand more about open learning if you have to, and then you really feel there is a calling and there is a family, we are all there, and as a family you wish to pursue this. Then the orientation sort of thing, or a kind of Q&A happens, and there's specific presentation given to the families who wish to be part of the community, and then you will be invited for that meeting, and then from there on it will be taken forward.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just to underline another point that we mentioned earlier, Namrata, that before you join and before you get to the orientation also, because I do remember that you mentioned this is your first small that you're entering,
Yes.
first meetup that you are participating in.
Yes.
Do check out the videos, do check out the website. There are a bunch of resources on the website.
Okay.
So that you're familiar with it and you know what
Right.
the questions are, right? So that when you're participating in the orientation or talking to one of our facilitators, you will have a better idea of what to ask and what to expect, right?
Okay.
That
Thank
will
you.
help. Yeah.
Right.
Good. We have a few other folks who have been very quiet. Galaxy Note 10 Lite. Could you please rename yourself?
That's Preeti Agarwal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to ask something from Santosh Udupa.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Santosh, please switch on your camera. Please show us your face.
Not now. There was some commotion. You must.
Okay, just joking. But if you have any question, please ask.
I have lots of questions. It will take all the time you have.
Take it, please.
You can start with one and let the others decide whether they want to continue with more.
संतोष हमारा यहाँ पे था ही क्या जो आप ले लोगे?
बहुत बढ़िया sir, बहुत बढ़िया. No, I was saying that since we are just about 10-12 minutes and there's so many participants, let the others start, and then you know me, I can take up all the time.
No, I think we can extend this till 6:30. Vijay, is that what we agreed on, or how is it? Nothing? Okay. It's still 6?
Yeah. It's still 6:30. So today we do not have a co-varsity meetup. We have it till
Separate
6:30.
meetup. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
And
don't have a separate co-varsity meetup, but we can just continue if you would like to discuss about co-varsity as well.
right.
And Pranav, there's some issue with your mic. We couldn't hear the first part of what you said. I saw the green thing around your photo, but I couldn't hear you.
No, I was just telling Santosh के ले लो हमारा यहाँ पे दुनिया में था ही क्या
अच्छा.
जो लेना just joking.
Okay. Yeah. Any
And
other
we can
questions
also, I
or-
think, wind up also whenever there is a need, right?
Yeah. Hey, we started late, yaar. If nobody wants to ask, let us ask each other questions. No, but that's fine. Let's have Samiksha and Sanjay, Darsh, Preeti, the other Preeti. If you can turn on your video and unmute yourself. It's a much smaller group now. So feel free to ask any questions or share some experiences. Yes, Sanjay.
No, I'm fine. I think I was reading the site and I'm new to the information, so I'm kind of digesting what was discussed today.
I hope you're not driving. Are you driving as well?
No, I'm a passive driver.
No problem. Yeah, that's good. So, yeah, if you feel like asking some questions, you're welcome to, or if you'd like to share some experiences, that's welcome as well. But you're welcome to just listen in too. I mean, that's perfectly fine as well. So usually we have Ratnesh or usually Ratnesh log in from campus to start the session. Yeah, please go ahead, Sanjay.
Yeah, for the first, like usually for for the first time, both the parents are recommended, right? So in my case, it may not be really feasible, I'm thinking. So is it okay if only one of us come for the first week? And ultimately, the other, my wife will also come in another week. So both of us can't come together. That's the thing.
Oh, that's even better, I would say. No.
Okay.
I'm just pulling your leg. No, it's perfectly fine. See, the idea is not that we want to interview both the parents together or give them a test and see how they work or anything like that. The idea is that when we do this as a family, it's much easier for everyone around, whether it is the child or the spouse, because when we say open learning, we are not trying to substitute one schooling method with another schooling method. Right? We are talking about changing the way we look at life and live life.
Yeah.
Right? And if one parent is keyed in and the other parent is not, I mean, it's one thing to not subscribe to this and feel that, oh, I'm not very happy about these things. I see some value in this. That's exactly what we want, where not everyone thinks the same way, right? So we would like to get more and more people to share their thoughts and enrich our conversations as well, enrich our learning as well. So that's the idea. That's why we ask that both parents participate in the community and not just the child.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, in this case, I think my wife's been following. She only introduced me to this, so I think we are more or less on the same page. It's just that I need to get up to speed, so I have to come and visit for some time. But soon after that, she will be able to, because our son is also at home, so we need to make sure that he is not left. He needs to be taken care of.
Okay.
For our daughter.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Thanks.
And you're welcome to bring your other child too. I mean, it's not just that only that. I mean, when we say family, we literally mean family. If you want to bring grandparents. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Any friend or uncle or aunt who is very enthused about these things, they're most welcome.
Oh,
so there's no restriction on who can come and who cannot come. Please check out the site. Because the idea is not, well, okay, let's not make it like you can bring anybody and everybody. No.
Yeah, of course. I mean, who is concerned with the idea?
Exactly. Whoever is interested in open learning, not even the child, right? Because
in open learning as such.
Yeah, exactly. So they feel that, oh, there are lots of things that I would like to learn. And would this be a way in which I can do it? They're most welcome to come and explore.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So I'll definitely think about getting my
Just check out the website, fill out the form, talk to folks, and then schedule so that you can plan your visit.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, I was saying that usually these Saturday meetups, Ratnesh is around and he logs in. And today Ratnesh is off because he's traveling. And somehow we assume that somebody will log in and then we tried to log in, but then technology wanted an OTP or Zoom wanted an OTP. And that OTP only goes someplace and then we had to figure out some way. And I'm so glad that Pranav and Preeti figured it out somehow. I don't know what they did, but I have a feeling the certified CA is more than just a certified CA. He's probably a hacker as well. So thanks, Pranav, for getting this going, even though we started a little late. So yeah, just
He's
wanted
now
to...
driving, so he won't be
Okay, no
talking
problem.
much.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions or thoughts? Please feel free. Today's topic is exposure, exploration,
Vision,
and then
expertise, and
expertise,
enterprise.
enterprise. So it's not that it's a linear growth from one stage to another, but broadly speaking, when we look at how does an open learner master a subject or earn their livelihood, when we look at these questions, this kind of a framework helps us to map our progress in some sense. And many a time we see that people who are still learning, if they are really good at selling themselves and selling what they do, while they're learning, they are already in enterprise stage. And so it's not that one has to go through these steps, but it is that it helps us in understanding these things. The reason we are putting that out is also because of this aspect that open learning is not just about some exotic way of living and learning where you don't have to worry about your livelihood. Only rich people with enough bank balance can do it. Not at all. The idea is that if you have the resources to go to school and you have the resources to teach or learn yourselves as well. The idea is to push on the fact that each of us is capable of leading our own lives and making decisions and learning from those decisions and improving. It's not that we won't fail. I mean, failure is guaranteed. It's not that failure can happen, but failure is guaranteed, and that's probably the best thing that can happen too. Because only when we fail do we learn. Or I shouldn't say only when we fail, but failure is one mode of learning, right? So, so from that perspective, we feel that the idea of open learning is a lifelong process, and each of us goes through that in our own ways. But as someone who is trying to understand open learning or get into open learning, this kind of a framework of different stages of learning kind of helps, but it's not hard and fast that, oh, when you are doing exposure, don't get into exploration. Nothing like that. It's all khichdi anyway, but, some people like their khichdi in a particular way and some people like it in a different way. So make your own khichdi is what we are trying to say.
Yeah, so somebody who is in an expertise stage of a particular interest can be in an exploration stage of another interest.
Yeah, totally. You just muted yourself in mid-sentence.
No, somehow it happens that whenever I'm on Zoom call, I get calls, maximum number of calls. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm audible right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, exploration, exposure, exploration, expertise, and then enterprise level. So if we can little bit discuss on this. Exposure is like when it's again not at all age defined or age specific, but just that how Vijay was saying that it can be a little on a slide on a graph like style, I don't know what to say, wherein age wise means we can say ki first is an exposure level when a toddler is a toddler, and when there is like they are in the age group of say 0 to 6, 7, 8 years of age, wherein they are getting exposed to different things around them, then they are themselves exploring it. That is like say 4, 5 years to 10, whatever. So again, I'm not wanting to bracket them in the age group, because again, a person who is enterprising into something can be at exploratory stage of anything, something else. So, but roughly like that. And then getting expertise into a particular field, maybe if I want to get into finance, or I want to get into get expertise into art, or specifically into Madhubani art or something, then that is expertise. And then we get into enterprise level, wherein it starts, you start earning out of it, or whatever, means you start enterprising. And did I confuse expertise or something I said again? No. Okay, expertise to enterprise level. Enterprise is wherein you change your expertise into an like shift gear to enterprise level. So these are some stages. We can just broadly divide the thing, but yes, again, the khichdi is always on, or you can call it a bhel puri.
Yeah. More ingredients in a bhel puri, I would say. Yeah. Yes, Santosh.
Yeah, I am not sure if Darsh wanted to ask something.
You go ahead. That's okay.
I will lead. I mean, like I said in the beginning, we we got into a new phase of open learning, an unusual phase, wherein we got a puppy. It's just 2-month-old, and my doctor's friends are here. That was what the commotion was all about in the beginning. And
Nice.
it's a different way of open learning. She's 12 now. She's learning that babies poop all the time, babies pee all the time, sleep all the time. It's tough. It's tough. And who took the responsibility? So she's doing everything. Oh.
Impressive. That's good.
Yes, by herself, and she's learning. It's messy, but actually, you were talking about, we have got a different type of khichdi. Yeah. So that's one part. The second part, since there are no more questions, I'm going to lead. And see, Preeti, there's a very specific reason why I don't come on video. Okay. The problem is that I have a lot to say, but I'm exceptionally good looking. So when I come on video, people just, focus on my good looks, and then nobody listens to me. Nobody pays attention to what I have to say.
My.
I'm just very serious.
तब तो मुझे तो कभी आना ही नहीं चाहिए वीडियो पे.
Yeah. Anyway, so for the benefit of everybody else, I am Santosh Urupa from Bengaluru. I have 2 daughters, 17 and 12 now, and 46 years old. So, and yes, I am exceptionally good looking. Just give me a minute. I'll come back.
Yeah. So whether you are extremely good looking or otherwise, you're welcome to ask questions. We don't insist that you turn on your video, but hey, I mean, you're welcome to as well. So yeah. Any other questions or thoughts?
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I'm back. Yeah, if the other questions, we should take those first. I am just going to, entertain myself.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So we have Samiksha and Preeti Agarwal, you said, no? Yeah. If you have anything to ask or share, that would be lovely. Has it started raining wherever you are, in whichever part of the world you all are in? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I agree, Pranav. If folks don't have any questions, we can wrap up earlier too. I think starting late has kind of taken the wind out of the sails. And also it's such a nice cloudy weather outside. It has rained in the afternoon. I'm thinking I'll go make some mirchi bhaji or something. Yeah.
Well, if there are no questions,
Yeah,
something here.
please.
Okay. So we have been so I have been joining these calls almost every weekend for more than a year now, and the two primary points which I see we talk about are child-led learning and co-creation. So these are not topics which are there in the mainstream, right? These are ideas which are very different. And if you look at the thing which Arohi brings, the philosophy or the premise which Arohi brings, it's primarily about abundance, right? See, when we all grew up, so like I said, we've been in this world for a long time, and when we were growing up, I believe all of you who are in this call now would have heard of this thing called as scarcity. There is not enough for everybody in this world, so we have to fight, we have to hustle, we have to getting ahead. And when I first heard about Arohi, this was like 2018, 5 years ago. This was for my niece. We had come there to campus and we were completely disillusioned what she wanted to do. So we saw that, I was shaken. I said, what is this? I mean, I have grown up hearing about scarcity and it makes perfect sense. And here there is entire community who talks only about abundance, the opposite of it. See, it may sound very trivial. It did not to me at that time, but it may sound very trivial. But if you go deeper into this is a sea change. It's a huge change. The way you think, the way you act, the way you even imagine stuff. This is the primary difference. So when to the folks who are new here, I would like to say, focus on this one part: abundance. Right? There is so much, and we can all share and still grow. Increase the pie, make it even bigger. This is something which is totally amazing. So coming back to those 2 points I was talking about, right, which is co-creation and child-led learning. Now, see, I come from a Fauji background. I mean, my parents, I mean to say, not personally. So this child-led learning or child-led whatever education is a drastic idea. I mean, just think about this. I believe Namrata was sharing about her child, and there was another person too. I forgot her name now. Suvidha, I think. Yeah. So when we're talking of small kids, right? I mean, 10 months old, 4.5 years old, and we're saying child-led learning. Think about this. I mean, we as parents, what are we saying? We're saying that we are not doing our job. I mean, the child leads, we are not doing our job. Is this what we're saying? Think about this. And I would like to hear people who have joined new. What do they think about this idea? I mean, child-led, a 4.5 years old child leads.
Yeah, thank you, Santosh. That's a good point. Namrata, Suvidha, because you're still around, if you would share your thoughts on that, that would be really appreciated. Or Samiksha, if you would like to chime in and share your thoughts, you're most welcome to.
I'm sorry, I just missed last few lines because I got a call. Can I just request to?
Yeah. So Santosh was asking that one of the things that we talk about, and we have talked about this in this session, in this discussion as well, is about child-led learning. So, and that even the youngest of children, is capable of leading their own life and deciding what they want to do. So when you hear that, when Santosh heard that, initially he was quite taken aback by it and he had to process it. So Santosh was asking, can you share your thoughts on that particular aspect of what do you feel, or what are your thoughts when you hear that children should be able to lead their own lives? Isn't it the parents' responsibility to, to guide the child or lead the child to safety and all that?
I think, I mean, if I would like to, if I'm capable of saying something on this, I think that when I say that I should guide my child or I should do this, somewhere there is a restriction on my part as to जो मुझे पता है वही मैं मेरे बच्चे को दे रही हूँ. And second is मुझे मेरे बच्चे से ज्यादा पता है. This again I'm coming from an ego. तो जब हम चाइल्ड लेड लर्निंग की बात करते हैं, एटलीस्ट मेरे पर्सपेक्टिव से बात अगर करूँ मैं, तो बाय गॉड्स ग्रेस मेरे लाइफ में बहुत जल्दी ये अवेयरनेस आने के रिसोर्सेस मिले मुझे कि about parenting basically. So we have been trying to come out of our own unlearn our own beliefs, है ना, कि बट मुझे पेरेंटिंग करना है. इट वाज अदर वे राउंड कि मुझे मेरे बच्चे से सीखना है कि उसे कैसा पेरेंट चाहिए. So our journey till now have been like this, but first 1.5 year अगर मैं संतोष जी ने जो बोला उससे अगर कोरिलेट कर पाऊँ, so first 1.5 year of my child's after my first child's birth were actually like this, completely in egoic state. मुझे सिखाना है, मुझे करना है, it's my responsibility how my child will survive in this world without me. सब कुछ me. Child led कहीं पे भी नहीं था. There was nothing like child led. But when all this shattered, then the opportunities opened up, and yes, now the things are wonderful. I can see the growth of my child and how much he has taught me, rather my own growth along with him. So this is a wonderful thing which I think every parent should be taught in a hospital as soon as they give birth.
Yeah.
Amrita, I really, sorry, did you go on?
Go ahead.
No, I really loved her sharing, and it also brings to the second point where, Santosh spoke about abundance. So when she talked about, after she, the child-driven journey, and lots of opportunities opened up. So that's where the abundance comes. Okay, so that's when you start seeing things which were probably earlier you were not looking at, and that's what the abundance is about. So if things were always there, it's just that probably we shut our eyes to it.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Suvita.
Yes, Suvita, please.
I don't know anything about a childled learning, but his typical day will be like he has joined school. So if he doesn't want to go to school, there's no school for him. But I ask him, what you going to do the whole day? He has seen me planning the whole day, so that he plans, okay, from this time to this time, I'm going to do this. I'm going to build something. I'm going to go to visit farm. I'm going to help my tata in the farm.
Okay, lovely.
I want to play in water. I want to play in sand. He'll say all that. In a day, I'm going to do all this. So no school for me. And then we said, okay, do it. I'm also working. So we leave the house. He'll be with his grandparents.
Okay.
So that is what his day is like.
Lovely. You are on track then. What we do ask is that from an early stage, as we practice the planning and doing, there's another component that we do think that it's very useful, and that is reflection. When you think back on how things went and discuss about it, talk about it, share it, right? And many a time not even share it. You do it as something that that you're doing it by yourself too. But doing that reflection and sharing it and discussing about it does help in the process of co-creation. When we say co-create, so when we say that child-led, doesn't mean that we are not influencing it, right? Whether we want to do it or not, we are influencing them anyway, right? They see us doing certain things, they see us doing certain ways, right? And they do learn from that, whether we like it or not. So the idea of co-creation is where you consciously involve yourself in being a co-traveler, right? So when you're traveling together and you know that your co-traveler would like to go to, let's say, the fort, and you're not really interested in the fort, but hey, you know what, you want to go to the fort, fine, but I don't want to come there. So what I would want to do, you share what you want to do, right? So the idea is that you co-create, and I'm just giving one random example. It might seem like a random thing, but if you give some thought to it, the whole idea of resources and constraints come in from the same perspective. So, so while we do talk about planning, doing, reflecting, it's not just an individual who does it, but more as a group that we do it. As a family, as a community, as a, you know, as a cohort of people who are interested in this particular thing, or maybe just the same age group, all of us are getting together because we are interested in something, right? So, so yeah, that's something that I would like to add or share, you know, to just add to your sharing, Suvida. But that's
Yeah,
lovely.
I also think that it's not our parents' responsibility to guide them.
Okay, would you like to elaborate on that? I mean, that's a good point. I frankly, I agree with you, but do share what's on your mind.
There's nothing on me. I don't know how I came to this conclusion, but I came to this conclusion that parents are not responsible.
Okay.
For
So
anything
maybe
that
you can reflect on that and see where it comes from and how did you come to that. I mean, I'm not disputing it. I'm just curious to see how you got there. You know, like they say, no, I mean, the journey is way more interesting than the destination. So,
yes.
So me be the devil here or the devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
So, Suvida, just think about this. We are human beings.
I will.
Yeah, we are not crocodiles. We don't give birth and say, okay, you're on your own, or snakes, you know, give birth and say you're on your own. So when you say that children are not our responsibility, do you really mean it? I mean, it's our child, right? We gave birth to the child. I mean, you're saying not my responsibility. You are born, you take care of yourself.
It's not like that. I mean, to a certain age, we can help them and or guide them. But I don't know. I don't get attached too much to my son. Everything he does on his own.
How old is he?
4.5. I don't know. He baths himself, he brushes himself, and I sometimes help him. He'll say, I need some help. Can you help me? So I'll go and help him. So that I thought, okay, I don't need to guide him in every way. He can learn by himself. If I guide him, he will not know the difficulties or the failure will be very less. No, I will what to say. I will tell everything. This is, if you do this, it will go wrong. Do this instead. So that is my guidance. So how will he learn?
See,
by not failing it?
Good point. Good point. See, when my daughter was around that age, 5 years, we went to this homestay in Karjat. Karjat is between Bombay and Pune. So we were having what's it called? A get together in the night. There were about 7-8 families, and we were around fire area, suppose, what it's called. I forget the name now. What it is called? Shekoti. You know, it's Marathi. So we made a big bonfire and we're all sitting around it and we're playing around with it. And the children had some sort of marshmallow or something which they wanted to fry in that fire and then eat. I know this all sounds very, very childish, but this is what it was. And this is what we were doing. And my 5-year-old wanted to go very close to it. And there was a nice red looking piece of wood, which she wanted to hold in her hand. And I felt responsible. I said, no, you can't do that. That is not how you do it. this is not right. If I would have said, well, you should have your own experience, you should learn. You see what I'm doing, Suvidha, right? I'm
Yeah.
the devil's advocate here. I'm just telling you that I have had experiences in my life. I'm sure you had.
Okay. If I were there in that place, okay, I would say I would take a small stick with a small fire. Okay. I'll ask him to touch it. That is what I would have done. Small, very small thing, which won't do any harm to him. Okay.
No. Even if it does harm, it's a small harm, right? I mean, I'm
It's
totally
very
with this, Suvidha.
okay. I would ask him to touch it. Then he wouldn't do it.
Oh, I have had my daughter staple a finger. She wanted to know what happens. I said, it will hurt. And she's like, okay, I want to try. I said, sure, go ahead. And she did.
Yeah, we can't control them.
She was okay.
Even
Now
in
she's
my
like,
childhood, I did that. My dad said, touch it and see. I touched it. I got burnt. That's it. After that, I will never.
So Suvidha, that doesn't work always, because after engagement we have courtship period, but still we fall for it. So
no, not always. Some things we can control. There are some things that we can't control.
yeah. So I think one of the things that I see from this conversation, and I think Santosh was probably working towards that, or maybe had that on his mind, is that when we are saying we would like them to do things and fail, it's not that everything you're on your own, right? I mean, like you said, you wouldn't want them to go put their hand into a fire and pick up a piece of hot coal, right? So we would probably want them to touch a hot stick or a hot something else and get a small burn so that it's controlled, right? So the objective is not to let loose or, wash your hands off, but rather that at different times, at different stages, at different situations, we weigh it and not just jump into something and say, hey, don't do that. Right? So, yeah.
It's really easy to say. It's really difficult to practice.
Oh, yeah.
We have to control ourselves, to sit on our hands. Everything will happen, but
just like them, we will also fail. And if we think about it, if we reflect on it, we will learn, hopefully. Yeah. Lovely. Thank you, Suvidha and Santosh. That was a lovely conversation. Any other thoughts? Any other questions? We have already attrition to 7 now from 14 or so that we were earlier. So if there are no more questions or any points to discuss, then we can just close it for the weekend and I can get to my mirchi bhaji.
I can go to my tea.
Good. But if you
go have your mirchi bhaji and tea.
No. I mean, if you would like to, Suvidha, we are here. I mean, anyway, I've said that.
The last 20 minutes was so good that I'm satisfied. I want to attend the next week session also.
Yay! Super. Yeah.
These kind of conversations are very gives me
very likely Ratnesh will be around, so you'll get to meet the 4.5-year-old in our community.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
Lovely.
See you all next week.
See you. Thank you, everybody. Have a good weekend and see you next Saturday. And
Bye-bye.
apologies again for the late start today. Bye.
No problem, Vijay. It's okay.